Hello, everyone. How are you? I hope everyone is doing great. I had a good day today. I went out and got some exercise and walked a little bit. It's been great the past couple of days because it's been overcast here. So instead of being in the 90s, it's been like in the low 80s. So I have taken advantage of that. Also want to say my condolences to anyone that has lost anyone. For reasons that I'm not going to talk about, I know that there has been loss around me, and I feel it as an empath. I've tried not to absorb it. I have my own feelings about this particular person that has passed. Probably not the same as other people, but I love everyone, and no matter what part that they played in my life, it taught me something, and I am grateful for that. So, again, I'm sorry for anyone that is grieving right now. I did my last video and I cut it up into shorts. I chopped the heck out of it. And the main reason that I did that is because at the beginning, the whole video was about things that we don't see, how we focus on what we want to grow, but we often think about the things that are tangible. We make wishes and prayers like, well, there's a magic genie in the sky instead of someone who has a divine plan for our life. And he sees and hears and knows everything. So we need to lean not on our understanding, and often we need to look and focus on the things that we can't see. And so that was my message, was doing it on pain, how we can't see pain right away, that a lot of people will cover it up and run from it. I did faith, I did biases, I did what else? Intentions, as far as intentions that you can't always see with gaslighting and love bombing, things like that. I did a whole video on things that you can't see that we need to look deeper at, and maybe it's a way that we can learn to forgive faster and easier if we look into those things and don't just think of what's on the surface as far as a reason why you may not like someone or may not understand why they're doing what they're doing. But I cut it up because I talked a lot about pain, and I try to be vulnerable on this channel, and so I thought it was important to do a video about pain, and even my pain, because I, for a long time, did not want to display that on this channel, because even though I was in a lot of pain, and sometimes I still feel that pain and I'm working through it, that there are a lot of people out there that wanted to take pleasure in that pain, and I didn't want to give them the satisfaction. Obviously, it hurt to have literally everything in my life taken away from me, and I would say the course of 3 weeks. It wasn't instantly, not everything, but eventually it all came away. And pardon me if I cry, but my youngest son is starting middle school tomorrow, and I can't talk to him. I can't even post to him. And that's okay. I'm not sad about it in a way that I'm not able to work through, which is the most important part. The transmuting isn't just taking your energy or energy that's sent to you and turning it into something else. It's also putting your energy into something and recycling it for others to be able to learn from and to gather strength from and to use to help push themselves forward. Because if I can do it, anybody can do it. And even though I'm doing it, it's not always pretty. And I would love to be with my son right now. I would love to be talking him through all of the things. Going to a new school. He's going to a school that is not where his friends are transferring to. So he's also starting a new school at a place where he doesn't really know anybody. I know that he's nervous. The kid bites his fingernails like down to the nub, and sometimes makes him bleed when he gets nervous. So I'm sorry. I really want to be there with him. I've been getting the emails as far as his school. Somehow I'm still attached to it, and that's wonderful. Although saying that, I'm sure someone will contact the school and tell them to take me off. But that is how I know that he's going to a new school district. But I wish I was registering him. I wish I was walking him through the halls to find his classes. I wish I was buying his school supplies and school clothes. I went from being his mother 80% of the time, even though the court papers said 50-50, because he wanted to be with me. And now I am at 0 days with him and don't even get the phone calls that I'm supposed to get on Saturday or the visits that I'm supposed to be able to get every Friday. I'm being threatened with contempt of court for being behind on child support, but they are also in contempt of court for not going by what it says in the papers as far as my phone calls or my visits or being notified of anything to do with his school, like his promotion that happened from elementary. And I have to take all that. And I gladly do, because I refuse to play that game. I opted out of this game a long time ago with his father, which is why I am in the position that I am in, because when you turn your back on narcissists, this is what happens. They will start a war against you. And if you are ever fully going to break free and escape, just know they're going to take everything they can from you, try to hurt you in any way that they can, try to take anything and everything as far as other people away from you. I lost all of my things. I lost my job, my business. I lost my child. I cut off everyone else on my own. I got ahead of that one. I don't really care who thinks what and why, or I know what they've been told. I know all of the things that he says to smear my name and defame my character. I don't care what anyone else thinks. I did care about the other things, but in order to walk the path that I'm walking and hold my light and speak my truth, I have to do it in a way that does not react to the things that are being done to me, to that person, to those people. I have to be strong and know that if God allows things to happen, that He is testing others, He's testing you, He's teaching you. He will eventually teach them. That is not your concern when that happens or how that happens. But it happens on purpose. Like I said, lean not on your understanding, on your own understanding. It is not for Him to reveal all of those things when it happens, but to see how you are going to maneuver through that situation, how others are going to maneuver through that situation. And while I haven't always held my tongue, I have tried to move forward in a way that is with grace, that is with love, that is respecting myself and others. I never gave up. I never backed down. I have always spoken my truth. I have always been authentically myself. I have always let them be who they're going to be through the situation, so that when God decides to redeem me, because I know that He will, I won't have any karmic debt on my hands to repay. I will be free and clear of the debt and able to walk into my blessings fully worthy and deserving of them. So, with that being said, and being very messy for a second, because it's real. I am raw and real and genuine, and I don't always show it on here because of the haters that watch me. But I have approached 346 subscribers, and I am so happy about that. Thank you all for returning. Thank you for the new people that I have. Thank you for those that watch that don't subscribe. It's not about the numbers for me. It's about who I can reach that needs my help, because I will not let any of this be in vain. And I want all of you to know that anything that is done in our life by God is happening for us and not to us. There are no victims. There are no victims. So I am not on here to be sad in a way where I'm trying to portray, oh, poor me, feel sorry for me. No, don't feel sorry for me. This was my test. This was my trial. This was my season where I needed to elevate. And in order to elevate, I had to see who the people in my life really were. Betrayal was the best thing that could have ever happened to me, for me. It was a gift. So don't get that twisted. Ever, ever, ever. It was a gift. I'm glad that this betrayal happened to me, because it taught me how to get out of those cycles for good. I used to hold on to the relationship that I had with my uncle, even though I knew that he wasn't a healthy person. I wanted to hold on to his potential, and teaching him his potential, letting him know that I saw his potential, still being loyal to him as far as how he had helped me with money in the past, that I, even though that I had paid him back all the money that I owed him, but I wanted to give him something that he didn't have by way of me being faithful in that relationship, as far as standing by his side no matter what, even though he was broken, even though he was in a toxic relationship. I was trying to cheer him out of it. He asked me for that help. I wasn't just trying to say, oh, this person's bad for you. He asked me to set him up on a dating profile and to teach him how to stay in his power and not go back and, resort back to that relationship and give his power away. Like, he didn't ultimately follow it all the way through and do that. But I tried to help him the best I could with the lessons that I had learned on how he could break free from something like that. The whole time he was trying to get me back into a toxic relationship, which is how I ended up starting on this cycle, is because he was trying to get me to go back to somebody that I didn't want anything to do with in that way anymore. And I was trying to quietly quit that relationship. It didn't happen overnight, and I was trying to remain friendly with that person. I was trying to be a co-parent with that person and not hang out with them, definitely not have sexual relations with them, trying to treat them with respect, and also holding on to their potential and the things that I saw in them that I knew that they could be if they would just reach for it and seize it and grab it and walk in that purpose and stay there. I tried, even when that person hurt me, I still tried to turn it into a positive by saying that they needed to talk about the things that were bothering them underneath the surface and work on those things so that the way that they were hurting me, that they had said they were sorry for doing, would stop happening. And not only to me, because I was making my exit, but to other people. Because if you don't work on what's broken in you, it's just gonna keep coming back up. You can't jump into a new relationship and not having worked on yourself and the toxic things that you had in your past relationship, which you need to take some ownership for. Both sides do. But you can't start something new without having worked on the old and think that it's not gonna resurface. So, had I not been betrayed by the people closest to me, my ex partner, my uncle, my oldest child, ultimately my youngest child, but I do not blame him because he does not make his own decisions. Had that not happened, I would have stayed using that comfort zone as a place where I thought I needed to nurture others and not let them not only act out, and try to do me the way that they do me, but let them spiral. Let them lose control. Let them self-destruct. Let them do the healing that they needed to do on their own without my help. I would never have done that. I would have never walked away without all of that happening to me. So it is the biggest gift. So even though I cry and I'm sad, I do that to show you guys that I'm still working through pain. That even though I feel so connected to my children, because we are all one, and I don't feel like I lost them. They're still part of my soul tribe, even if they are not in my physical daily life. That it still makes it like the wanting to be there and physically show them, especially my youngest, because I can't tell him that I love and miss them. That never goes away. And when you go through hard times, it's not just gonna poof magically go away. No. In the past, if I hadn't gained the emotional maturity and gotten in touch with like me at the center of everything and who I really am without being a people pleaser, without trying to hold the world on my shoulders and take care of everything and everyone, which I've always done my entire life. If those things hadn't happened, I still would be trying to be that person for everyone, and I would never have gotten to this raw, genuine, authentic person that I am now. I still would have been wearing a mask, and the mask being the people-pleasing mask, the I'm a doormat mask, the I'm gonna be here for you. And like my friends and my family, most of my family had been cut off before this happened. So my very small immediate family, my sons, my uncle, in which I still consider both of my ex-husband's family, because I still would have done anything for them. And I would not have filled my own cup. My cup would have been last. I would have been pouring from an empty cup all day, every day, and on this vicious cycle as far as people pleasing and not loving me. And in all of this happening, it made me choose me because no one else did. And when I started to realize how long that it has been since I have been loved, and that has been my grandmother. My grandmother raised me. She was my mom, in every sense of the word, even though I wasn't allowed to call her that. I tried to when I was young, but my uncle wouldn't let me. But she still was my mother, and I lost her in 2011, 2012. I think it was right before I found out that I was pregnant with my youngest, who is 12. So she's been gone a long time, but she loved me unconditionally, and I haven't had real love in my life um, since I haven't had my children, and before that, since having her in my life. So I have never fully loved myself like I needed to love myself, and I was able to like see what I deserve, to give me what I deserve, and to set that bar high for anyone else that comes in the future, that I won't resort to thinking that I don't deserve anything, or I deserve the bare minimum, or scraps, or crumbs. That me having been raised by a narcissistic parent, that I was raised to be codependent and that people pleaser, that I would keep inviting that abuse back into my life without having broken that cycle, and for it to be easier for this partner and that partner to do it to me, because I thought that's what love was. I thought that's what you do to keep people in your life, to keep them from leaving, to not be abandoned like my birth mother did to me. I thought between the abandonment I had from her and the narcissism that I put up with from him, that I had to be safe, I thought that was my worth, and it was so far from my worth. And everyone around me saw it except for me. And in that time alone with God, I realized my worth, that the love was around me 24/7 all the time, from the universe, from God, from source, from collective consciousness, that I am love. In and of itself, I am love, and I deserve the love that I receive from the universe, from anybody else that comes into my physical life in this existence. So I am grateful. I also wanted to talk about how we should treat judgment and like criticism of others as an addiction, because addictions are something that we can't stop doing. They're something that hurt us and hurt others, and judgment and criticism and condemning others is the same thing. You feed off of it because it helps you feel better. It gives you that little dopamine rush whenever you can blame something on someone else, or you can point out their shortcomings. It makes you feel better about your shortcomings. It keeps you from being accountable. But in doing that, you are hating on yourself. Like, it's you. They are you. You are them. So, as I said in one of my shorts, it's a complete waste of time, because you are equally as bad and in a deficit at doing something pure, out of purity, not being tainted or what's the word? Contaminated by anything, as someone else's in their own way. And often the people in our lives we're not in the same deficits for the same things that we shouldn't be doing to other people and to ourselves, because we live in the 3D. It's very a polarity. Polarities exist everywhere that you look. Democrat, Republican, like we're being pitted against each other every way that you look, because they want you fighting in this society, in this fear-based, low vibrational, for the most part, society. They want you fighting with each other. They want you at points of contention nonstop. And to pull yourself out of that is to start recognizing our oneness and how we are all the same. All of that is a bunch of noise. It's very constructed to be that way on purpose. It's intentional that we live that way, because they want to keep you from remembering who you are, so that you won't wake up to your divinity, so that you won't stop doing all of that and stop engaging and stop reacting and stop putting yourself in low vibrations and adding to your karmic debt. They want you to keep doing that. So when we are in these polarities in our relationships, they're there as well. As far as the narcissist to empath dynamic, like I am equally as to blame for being a doormat, a people pleaser, a codependent, as my ex-partners have been at running away, at cheating, at being narcissistic, at, trying to feed their egos, these self-inflated egos. Like, they're all equally things that neither one should be doing. And you trauma bond in these relationships and you mirror these things to each other. So you see in them the hurt that you have felt in your life and you want to help fix it. You want to love them, like love them to death, sometimes literally. And you can't fix their pain. You can't fix their trauma. You can only fix your trauma. So until you pull yourself out of these toxic karmic cycles and fix what is broken in you, you are never going to be good to anyone, any good to anyone, yourself or anyone else, until you do that, until you stop running, until you stop chasing, until you stop trying to jump into a new karmic cycle and expect it to be different without having done any work on yourself, until you stop hurting other people because you are hurt yourself. Like, it's a wash. It's just you're not going to be able to get anywhere. There's going to be no elevation. There's going to be no ascension. There's going to be no level up for you. You're just going to be staying in low densities. You are karmic. You are toxic. I love us all. I love myself. I love all of you. I want nothing but the best for us all. And until we look within, we go within to fix us, to do our shadow work, to connect to our higher self, which is God, and being of God. We are all of God, just like there are rays of the sun. So not any one person is God. And Jesus was not God. I don't care what the Bible says. In reading the Bible on my own, without the middleman, I have learned concretely that Jesus was promoting the divinity within us and connecting to the oneness that we are with God. Him, us, everything, everybody. So when he says that we are the church and the kingdom of God is within us, and to what does it say? I wrote it down. He who dwells in the secret place of the Most High, which is Psalm 91 that I read every day. That secret place of the Most High is inside of you. It is inside of you. So Jesus was trying to tell us to connect with God within us. The Christ consciousness within us is the way to the kingdom, not anything outside of us, and not to have a middleman, that we don't need any middleman at all. And what did people do? They went and created a whole religion out of Christianity, which is exactly the opposite of what he was saying. And they used that to make you feel guilty, to make you fear, to make you condemn and judge others, when the whole reason that we are here is to love each other, to not do any of that stuff. But yet they have you coming in droves. They have you putting yourself on a pedestal, like collecting money from you left and right, having you judge and condemn others and to make them think that they are not righteous because they are not in that building with you and they are not tithing to the church, that they may choose to give in other ways. Like right now, I don't have money to tithe to the church. I need every single thing that I get in order to feed myself. But I tithe doing this. I'm transmuting energy for myself and for others. And I get on here to do a service that is free to help others with the experience that I have in walking this path and finding my purpose in the pain I had this trauma, and in doing these messages, which I was so shy at first, like I can talk to people face to face a lot easier these days than when I was younger because I was painfully shy then. But getting on camera and seeing myself on a screen and having messages prepared that I tried to deliver like effortlessly because I knew that I had so much to give. I did in my daily life face to face with others and have for years, but to get on the internet and do it to the masses, which I hope it grows to, and even 346 people I consider masses because I know that when it started off, it was a lot of people that hated my guts because they had listened to the worst things being said about me and believing them and acting out on them without even having met me, known me, having fact checked any of this stuff, and definitely not having me do anything to them directly myself. Um, that wasn't like the base, the fan base, without a better word for it. My core audience, the people that I knew that I wanted to reach. But in watching me through their hatred, I knew that someone was gonna identify with something that I was saying that I had gone through outside of the situation in which they were hating me on. Um, and that's a cult, by the way. If you're doing that for anybody, you are brainwashed. You are feeding into something that you have no clue if it's true or not. You are just boldly taking something for face value and not rebelling against it because someone is telling you to do something. That is a cult. I don't care if it's a church. I don't care if it's a school. I don't care if it's um, a Mason, an Eastern Star. I don't care if it's your knitting group. I don't care if it's a sailing club. If you're doing that for anybody blindly and it's not God, you're in a cult. I'm sorry to tell you, you're in a cult. But we are all connected. So in doing that for others on here, I am giving back. That is my way of tithing. That is my way of taking some of the nastiest energy and the most hateful, vile things that I've ever seen and ever dealt with, and definitely ever held my high and kept walking through, that I've ever seen. I've never had to deal with that kind of hatred in all my life. And I was one that came from, well, owning a cake business and lots of other home bakers in Chattanooga. And I don't believe that there's ever too many because we all have something special that we can bring to the table. We're not all just alike. We have our own unique gifts and we all do it in our own way and they taste different but still good. Like there's room enough for everyone. But in having, certain people that they just have that personality. Well, they'll come after you, or they have the smallest inconvenience, or they want to flip the narrative in their favor because they didn't do something that I wasn't putting on blast, but they decided to go put on blast. I've had that done to me several times on Facebook or the marketplaces, even the yard sale sites. That's what it was back in like 2015. This was done. So I don't believe in bad publicity at all because when that happened to me years and years and years ago, I saw that I had a business page at that time, which when I went back to cakes, I didn't start a business page again. I just kept doing it from posting from my personal page. But when I had all of the statistics and stuff from my business page, I saw that when that person tried to go out and just dump all this crap on me, that was when the highest engagement of my page ever existed. So people wanted to see, they were naturally curious, they were drawn to figuring it out for themselves and seeing both sides of the situation. So yeah, I don't believe in bad publicity. But so that's another thing, is that when people slander your name, they're elevating you because your name is on their tongue. Your words have power, and where they might be trying to persuade and be successful a lot of the times, other people into not liking you because of the things that they say that you are and that you did, whether you did them or not, still brings their attention to you. It still puts you on a platform. It gives you attention. It puts energy, brings energy your way. Even though it's negative energy, you don't know what I can do with that energy. You don't get to say what I can do with that energy. And I've been doing it my whole life. So I know what to do with that energy. And I turn it into something great. Whether it be for me only, privately for myself, or whether it be on my platform for everyone to be able to use and to experience. Not to get ahead of your slander, but to help others with love and to help them with support and guidance, because that's what we all deserve. We are never alone, and I don't want anyone to ever feel as alone as I was when I did this walk. I did it alone, and even though I know that I have support in the spiritual realm, I know that I have love from the universe surrounding me, protecting me, doing a long list of things for me that I will probably never ever know about, because I know that I haven't done it all on my own. I know that there's been invisible forces that have worked a lot of things out for me that I never knew were happening until later, that I could never have had the power to change or do for myself. I know that I have had support at all times. I've been supported. Lots of things that have been tried that have failed, even though a lot has been permitted and allowed by God for a reason. I have faith in that. I know that it was all done for a good reason, that God has gone ahead and He's working everything out for me. But in the things that I couldn't see, the list was long. The list was very long. And I'm so grateful for that. But I don't want anyone to ever eat. I know you're going to feel alone at first before you put all of your eggs in that blind faith basket. You're going to feel alone. And if I can alleviate that for anyone, even just one person, then that makes me being here worth it. So even though they might slander you, even though they might sway some people that don't even know you, or that you thought did love you to their side, doesn't mean that that energy, they're still sending energy to you. It doesn't mean that it's going to hit you and land the way that they want it to, because you determine. You're the magic. They need you to act in a certain way for anything that they're doing to be successful. So if you take it and you gobble it up and you turn it into something else, or you recycle it into helping others and tithing with it, that's up to you. That's not up to them. They have no control over what you choose to do with that energy, your energy, their energy that they're sending to you, anyone else's energy that's being sent to you. That's on you. That's the beautiful part of it. So even though you might be sad sometimes, and you might feel alone in the physical sometimes, and you might be alone in the physical sometimes, but that's okay, because all you need is God. You need that firm foundation. You need to do your shadow work. You need to fix what's broken inside of you. Forgive yourself, forgive others, transmute that energy, start raising your vibrations. Raise them up, and don't let anybody pull you back down. Don't let any of the slander, any of the things that they say and do get a reaction out of you. Sure, you might still have to work through some of those hurt feelings. Sure, it's normal. You're having a human experience. Emotions are energy in motion. You're going to have emotions. It's how you deal with them that matters. People are going to do horrible things to you. It's how you deal with that matters. Your character, how you put one foot in front of the other and be an example to others, how you love yourself through it, how you hold your head high and you don't treat them the same way that they treated you. That is what matters. So it's very important for me to get down here and talk about my pain, because you're all going to have it, and you're all going to feel alone sometimes, and you're all going to feel like you can't do it anymore, that you've reached like your limit, like You know how many times I've kept walking past my limit, that every time I was afraid that I was at my limit and that I couldn't go anymore, that God created strength and motivation for me out of thin air, that he kept me going, that he sent me something that I needed, a pick me up, and by way of others helping me, most often strangers helping me, that he gave me a song that came on the radio that made me feel happy, that he sent me signs from the universe that told me to keep going via all of the feathers that I've found, via, like today, on my walk today. The monarch butterflies are out in full force. And yesterday, I saw a big blue one, which was beautiful on its own. I love butterflies. I love nature. But today it was all yellow and purple, which is my grandmother. My grandmother loved yellow and purple, and it was a big, beautiful yellow monarch butterfly that circled me so many times before I ended up getting it on video, and all these purple flowers and yellow flowers. And I posted it to Facebook as a short today, and I put "Hello, Darling" by Conway Twitty behind it because she loved Conway Twitty. So I feel her. I feel her with me. She's part of my soul tribe, just as anyone else is that is still here but not in my physical. I feel them with me. I hope that my sons feel me with them, and I pray every day for them to go within and to talk to God about anything that they need, because that's all that they need, and that's all that you need. And even if I am crying on here today, which I didn't really cry, I teared up many times. My nose ran a little, but it wasn't a huge blubbering mess. But I want you all to know that it is not easy, but it's worth it. And in the end, it's how you control yourself. The only thing that we have control over is ourselves. And know that you not reacting, that you loving yourself, you not treating others the way that they're treating you, you doing your shadow work and you breaking those toxic cycles, that is love. All of that is love. And God will give you everything back that he took away, but he will put it back together in a healthy way so that you are not staying stuck, that you're not going to stay in low vibrations and hurt and pain and trauma, that in you walking this walk, getting on your path, that you are creating totally new things for yourself, stepping into a new path for you that is what you were meant for. That's what he put you here for. And if you don't break those cycles, then you're running out the clock until God divinely intervenes and does it for you. And when he does it for you, it's going to be painful. It's going to be public. It's going to be every way that you didn't want it to be, by doing all the things that you thought you could do to play God, to cover it up, to run from it, to numb it, to slander other people in order to save face for yourself, to avoid being accountable for any of the things, for not forgiving yourself, for not forgiving others. Any of those things that you try to do to escape your karma, that's nothing compared to the way that it's going to be when God puts you on blast, when he finally says, time's up, time's up. You've run out the clock, and all of the things that you were doing. I gave you all these chances. I gave you all of these tests. I gave you all of these opportunities. I warned you many times through many different ways. And if you have been in that position, you know what the warnings look like. You know when God is testing you. You know when God is saying, this is not what you should be doing, wrong road. You know all of the warnings and all of the different things that were done to keep you from keep going down that road. And if you don't heed all of those warnings, if you don't get in front of it and stop the clock yourself, when God stops the clock, that's tragedy. That is tragedy. So I want you to all stop the clock on your own. Heal what's broken inside of you. Don't react. Don't give them what they want. Give yourself what you need. Okay? I love you all. God loves you, and you're never alone. And I'll see you next time. And I promise it won't be tearful. Hopefully not anyway. Bye.